So I wanted to tell you about the time I took my ass to Chelm, the village of Chelm. This is my donkey, my ass, Eysele. Eysele, say hello, everybody. Yeah, yeah. Are you pleased to come back? Yeah. And Eysele loves stories, and that's why Eysele has such nice long ears for listening to long stories, right? Yeah. And remember the trip we took to Chelm? Yeah, the village of people who were sometimes wise and sometimes a little bit foolish. Yeah, so I thought I'd tell people about the trip. Okay, so anything you wanted to tell me, mention? So, of course you're in the story. You're in every story. Okay, you're happy about that. Okay, Eysele, so here, just make yourself comfortable. Just go down. Okay, so Eysele and I took a flight over to Poland to visit the village of Chelm. So we were on our way to Warsaw. I got a seat right next to me. Remember, you were sitting right next to me, and you got hay, and I got the airplane meal. Yeah, it was okay. The hay was good though, right? You liked it, yeah. And we split some wine. And, ooh, you got a little silly. Okay, okay, go, make yourself comfortable. So we're on the flight over, and as we're flying over, I hear the pilot say, "There's a little trouble in the air. We've lost power to one of the engines." And the pilot said, it was a woman pilot, I remember. She said, "Don't worry, though we can fly on three engines. We'll just be an hour late landing at Warsaw. And for those of you continuing on to Chelm, you will be an hour late getting to your destination." So I'm sitting there relaxing, and then another engine went out, and the pilot came on, and she said, "Now, don't worry, don't panic. We have lost power to a second engine, but we can fly on two. It's not a problem, but we will be 2 hours late landing in Warsaw. For those of you going on to Chelm, you'll be 2 hours late." I relaxed and going along, and all of a sudden, poof, another engine goes out, and the pilot says, and very nice woman pilot, reassuring, she said, "I know you're worried, but don't be. The plane can fly on one engine, no problem. But we will be 3 hours late landing in Warsaw. For those of you going on to Chelm, you'll be 3 hours late." And there was I guess a guy from Chelm sitting right next to me, and he said to me, "If that fourth engine goes out, we'll be up here all day." Yeah, yeah, remember that, Eysele? Yeah, the guy, and you looked at me and said, "This people from Chelm are a little tuk, 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 tuk." Yeah, I know. So anyway, we got to Chelm. Here, you can see me go down. My ass always likes to be in the story. That's the thing. It's very hard to relax. You like to listen to stories, right? Yeah. Okay. But anyway, relax. Whoop. So we're in Chelm, and when we got there, I went to see Mendel, who was famous for being particularly wise. I came up to Mendel. I said, Mendel, I've come all this way to Chelm. I brought my ass to Chelm, and we were wondering. This is a question we've often wondered. What is more important? Which is more important, the sun or the moon? The sun or the moon? Mendel said, "Obviously, the moon." And I didn't know what he meant. So, "Mendel, what do you mean? We've come all this way to Chelm to ask the question, find out your wisdom. Why would the moon be more important than the sun?" And this is what Mendel said. "The moon shines at night when it's hard to see where you're going. And the sun shines in the daytime when it's already light outside." I thank you, Mendel. That makes sense, sort of. Remember that, Eysele? And we talked about it afterwards. We tried to understand. But that night we were walking along, and remember we passed that group of people from Chelm standing around the well and crying, and they're crying and they're crying. And we said, "What are you crying about?" "Look in the water." They said, "The moon fell in the water. The moon." We looked at them and said, "People from Chelm, the moon didn't fall in the water. It's still there. That's the reflection of the moon." No, the moon fell in the water." Remember what you did? Yeah. Okay. Eysele came up behind them and went, "Yeehaw!" So loud, they all jumped, they fell backwards, they hit their heads on the ground, they looked up and they said, "Thank God the moon is back in the sky. It was you helped them." Yes, yep. And then we needed a place to stay, so we came to a hotel, and it was pretty full. Eysele went to the stables, but I went into a room. They had I had to share the room with somebody. And when I got in my bed in the morning, I heard a terrible sound. Somebody was running in the room, bum, 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 bum. And then I could hear a big crash. And I looked up, I woke up fast, and there was a guy, and his pants were hanging on the wall, and he was running across the room and trying to jump into his pants. And I thought, oh, only in Chelm could such a thing be happening. And so I said, excuse me, sir, what are you doing? He said, I'm trying to put on my pants. It's so hard. I get so bruised every morning. It takes me an hour, and I work up a big sweat. And I said, listen, watch this. And I showed this guy how to, you sit on the bed, you put one leg in one, the other on the other, you stand up, you buckle it, you put on your pants like that. And the man said, you're not from Chelm, are you? And I said, no, I'm just passing through. Well, later that day, Eysele and I, we were walking by the rocket facility. Remember that? They were building a rocket, and very impressive engineers and scientists, everybody around. And we came up to them and we said, what are you doing? And they said, well, we're building the Chelm's very first rocket to the sun. And that seemed a little strange, right? I said, well, the sun, you're going to send a rocket to the sun. Wouldn't it burn up in the sun? I mean, the sun is so hot. And they said, yeah, we thought of that. We're going to send it at night. Oh, people of Chelm, they have a strange way of thinking about the world. Yeah. And then, remember we were passing Mendel again, and he was down by the river, and there was his wife. Remember seeing it? And she was doing the laundry, and then in those days, you'd beat the clothes on the rocks to get it all super clean. And there she was, and she had his underpants out on the rocks. She'd been washing it in the river. Mendel's saying, thank goodness, thank God, thank God. And we came up, remember that? And we said, Mendel, why are you thanking God? Your wife is doing the laundry, and you're thanking God. God, thank God, thank God. I said, why? And he said, look at how she's beating my underpants to get them clean. I'm thanking God that I took them off just in time, because if I was still wearing them, she'd be beating me. Oh, Mendel, the people of Chelm. I don't know, Eysele. Are they wise or are they foolish? That's the big question. That night, we were walking along, and we passed a guy's house, and he was outside under the street light, and he's looking, and we're coming home back to the hotel, remember? And we said, what are you doing? And the guy said, I'm looking for my wife's wedding ring. She lost it. Oh, well, we got down to help, and Eysele, remember, you got you're down looking everywhere you could find, and looking. But it's about 2 hours gone by. We couldn't find it, and we finally said to the guy, man of Chelm, where did she lose the ring? He said, inside the house. Why are we looking for it outside the house here under the streetlight? He said, well, there's more light out here. Oh, so Eysele and I have traveled quite a bit, and now Eysele is a very clever ass and knows many things, many riddles, and I think you brought a riddle today. Yeah, okay. Do you want to share it? This is called the Storyteller's Ass. I'm the storyteller. This is my ass. A very gentle, very intelligent. Got long ears because Eysele loves long stories. Right? That's your favorite. And do you have a riddle? Yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness, that's a hard riddle. Do you think people could try it? Okay, all right. Here's the riddle that the donkey told me. My lovely gray ass, Eysele. Here's the riddle. It says, the schoolhouse is green, the hallway is white, the classroom is red, and the students are black, brown, and white. And that's the riddle. Now, if you come back next time, or if you want to write to me, if you think you know the answer, and you want to tell Eysele what you think is the answer to this great riddle, you can send a note, and you can find us. We're always around. Just look for the Storyteller and his ass. And what's, did you want to say one last thing before we say goodbye? Okay, so. Okay. Every storyteller needs a nice ass. And that's a nice, as nice as you, right? Yeah, with long ears because you like long stories. That's right. Yeah. Well, anyway, we did leave Chelm after a while. It was a lot of fun. On the way out, we met Mendel again, and Mendel is an interesting guy. We said, "Where are you going?" He was walking along the road, and he said, "I'm going to Warsaw. I'm leaving Chelm. I didn't want to be here anymore. My wife yells at me, and my kids are always on their phones playing games. No one talks to me anymore. It's not. I'm going to the big city of Warsaw." Well, we were also walking out to catch our bus to get to the airport, and we saw Mendel, and he was walking along, and he got about 2 kilometers outside of Chelm, and we saw that he was going to take a nap. I heard the rest of this story from someone else who lives in Chelm, and he told me what happened. What happened was Mendel decided to take a nap, but he was worried that when he woke up, he wouldn't remember the way to Warsaw. So he took his shoes off and he pointed them down the road so he would remember when he woke up that he should continue walking that way to get to Warsaw. So here's Mendel now. He went for a nap under this tree by the side of the road. And one of the farmers in that neighborhood, he knew Mendel from Chelm, and he thought he'd play a little trick. So he turned the shoes around, pointing back to Chelm. And we saw this too, and Mendel wakes up and he's had a nap. He's going to continue on his way to Warsaw. And instead, when he looked at the shoes, he thought, okay, put them on, started walking back towards Chelm. And to his surprise, the neighbors, or the people he met on the road, of course, they looked like his old neighbors from Chelm. They said, "Nice to see you, Mendel. Did you have a nice walk?" And he thought to himself, how do they know my name? I'm in Warsaw now. Mind you, Warsaw looks a lot like Chelm. Oh, yeah. And he came walking further, and he came into a house, looked a lot like his house. And there's a woman, looks a lot like his wife, and she's cooking chicken soup, smells a lot like her famous chicken soup. And she says, "My husband, where have you been?" He said, "Wait a minute. I have another wife in Warsaw? She sounds just like my wife in Chelm." The kids were so happy to see their daddy, they put their phones down, not for long, but just long enough to run over, give him a big hug, and say, "Daddy, we missed you. Let's play together." And, it was a pretty nice family after that. He hadn't been gone too long, but when he got back, he thought, this family in Warsaw, they're so nice. They remind me of my family in Chelm, but a little bit nicer. And, he decided to stay. And I don't know if Mendel ever figured out where he was, in Chelm or in Warsaw. Now, if he'd had a smart donkey like you, Eysele, he would know where he was. Because, ladies and gentlemen, your ass always knows where you are going. So come back, see you again, bye-bye, say goodbye, Eysele. All right, see you again. Thank you for coming, bye.